In the vast expanse of human history, where countless philosophies have sought to decode the essence of a life well lived, one question emerges, challenging our contemporary convictions. Is kindness always a virtue? As we navigate the shadowed halls of ancient wisdom, we uncover Stoicism, a philosophy as enduring as the stars. It proposes an enlightening perspective, intertwining the pursuit of virtue, the mastery of self, and the acceptance of fate to sculpt individuals of unbreakable resolve. Yet, in a world where kindness is often celebrated as the pinnacle of human virtue, we embark on a less trodden path. Here we explore the stark realms where excessive kindness, untempered by the iron will of Stoicism, may lead one astray from true fulfillment and resilience. Join us on this profound journey as we unravel the tapestry of Stoicism and its nuanced view on kindness, revealing insights that challenge and inspire in equal measure. And hey, before we begin, if you're keen on cultivating your wisdom, join our community to evolve together by pressing the subscribe button below and activating the notification bell. Now, let's delve into the video. 1. The mirage of external validation. Kindness, when deployed as a means to secure the favor of others, becomes a chain that binds the spirit. Epictetus might have warned us. In our journey through life, we often find ourselves caught in the pursuit of external validation, striving to win over the hearts and minds of those around us with our acts of kindness. It's a path many tread, seeking acknowledgement and approval from the external world. However, this quest can easily become a shackle, constraining our spirits and leading us away from the true essence of self-fulfillment. The wise teachings of Stoicism, as Epictetus might suggest, warn us against this trap, emphasizing the importance of finding validation from within rather than from the accolades and applause of others. The concept of kindness is noble and inherently valuable, but its purity is tarnished when it is wielded as a tool for personal gain or societal acceptance. This maneuver transforms a virtue into a vice, ensnaring the practitioner in a web of dependency on the unpredictable reactions of others. Such a path diverges sharply from the Stoic principle of internal validation, where the measure of one's worth and actions is based not on the fluctuating opinions of the crowd, but on the steady internal compass of one's conscience. The Stoic sage, an ideal we might aspire to, navigates life's tumultuous seas with a different map. This sage seeks not the fleeting cheers of the multitude, but rather the calm, unwavering approval of their own conscience. In doing so, they embody the essence of Stoicism, which champions autonomy, equanimity, and the pursuit of virtue for its own sake. This internal focus liberates the individual from the chains of external expectations, allowing for a life led with purpose and integrity, grounded in the virtues that truly matter. Thus, the mirage of external validation, while alluring, is ultimately a distraction from the path of genuine fulfillment and enlightenment. By embracing the Stoic virtue of internal validation, we free ourselves from the enslavement to others' opinions, forging a path of personal integrity and true kindness. This shift not only enhances our own well-being, but also allows us to contribute to the world in a more meaningful and unencumbered way, serving others not for the sake of applause, but out of genuine compassion and self-respect. 2. The dilution of intent. Seneca, with the wisdom of a seasoned philosopher, once drew a poignant analogy from the natural world, observing how the rivers of Rome in their expansive journey lose their force when spread too widely. This observation mirrors a profound truth in human conduct, particularly in how we extend our kindness. Just as water's strength diminishes with dispersion, kindness that is thinly spread in an attempt to curry favor with everyone loses its essence of sincerity. This dilution of intent not only weakens the impact of our actions, but also strays us from the core Stoic teaching, to focus our efforts where they hold the deepest meaning. The Stoic path urges us to direct our kindness and efforts intentionally, rather than scattering them in hopes of garnering universal approval. This wisdom encourages us to concentrate our energies in areas where they can make a significant difference, fostering relationships and initiatives that resonate with our core values. By doing so, we uphold the integrity of our intentions, ensuring that our acts of kindness are not mere attempts to please, but genuine expressions of our inner selves. This approach not only enhances the value of our contributions, but also aligns us more closely with the Stoic ideal of living a purposeful and authentic life. In the pursuit of universal acclaim, there's a temptation to extend ourselves beyond meaningful boundaries, leading to a dilution of our true intentions. The Stoic teaching provides a counterbalance to this inclination, reminding us of the importance of sincerity over breadth in our endeavors. By focusing our kindness and efforts where they truly matter, we preserve the potency of our actions and maintain our authenticity. This concentrated approach ensures that our acts of kindness are powerful and sincere, rather than diluted gestures seeking approval. Therefore, embracing the Stoic wisdom of intentional action, we are guided to live more meaningfully, concentrating our kindness and efforts in ways that are most impactful. This philosophy not only enriches our lives, but also those of the people we choose to help with a sincere and undiluted intent. Through this focused approach, we honor the true essence of kindness, ensuring that it remains a potent force for good in the world, much like the rivers of Rome, which, when channeled effectively, harness their strength to nourish and sustain. 3. The erosion of personal boundaries. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, counseled, "He who loves indiscriminately gives away more than kindness. He forfeits his sovereignty." He offered a cautionary reflection on the nature of kindness and its implications for personal sovereignty. He observed that indiscriminate affection, while seemingly noble, can cost one far more than just the act of kindness itself. It can lead to a forfeiture of one's personal sovereignty. This erosion of personal boundaries is a subtle danger, as it leaves us vulnerable to the whims and desires of others, compromising our ability to stand firm in our principles and values. Stoicism, with its emphasis on self-mastery and resilience, teaches us the critical importance of maintaining our inner citadel, a metaphorical fortress that protects our autonomy and integrity. The Stoic wisdom here is not a call to harden our hearts or to withhold kindness, but rather to exercise discernment in our interactions. It encourages us to recognize that while kindness is a virtue, it must be tempered with wisdom to ensure that it does not become a liability. The indiscriminate extension of kindness without regard to our own well-being or the worthiness of others can lead to a dilution of our essence and a loss of control over our lives. By guarding our inner citadel, we ensure that our generosity and kindness are not exploited, but are instead directed in ways that are mutually respectful and beneficial. This teaching urges us to be mindful of whom we allow into our personal domain, advocating for a selective openness that admits only those who respect our boundaries and are deserving of our time and energy. Such discernment does not diminish the value of our kindness. Rather, it enhances its worth by ensuring it is not squandered on those who would take it for granted. By maintaining our personal boundaries, we preserve our sovereignty, allowing us to offer help and support without compromising our core values or depleting our resources. In essence, the Stoic path offers a blueprint for living with purpose and dignity, emphasizing the need to protect our inner citadel from the erosive forces of indiscriminate kindness. By practicing discernment and setting healthy boundaries, we not only safeguard our autonomy, but also ensure that our acts of kindness are truly impactful. This balanced approach allows us to navigate the complexities of human relationships with grace and strength, honoring our commitment to Stoic virtues while engaging with the world in a meaningful and constructive manner. 4. The shadow of dependency. In the nuanced landscape of human relationships, the act of extending help carries with it a profound responsibility. This principle is encapsulated in the wisdom of contemporary Stoicism, which advises, offer a hand, but ensure it does not become a crutch. This counsel serves as a caution against the unintended consequences of excessive kindness. While the intention to assist is commendable, there lies a shadow of dependency that can inadvertently be cast, affecting both the giver and the recipient. The Stoic philosophy, deeply rooted in fostering resilience and self-sufficiency, encourages us to reflect on the nature of our assistance, ensuring that it empowers rather than creates reliance. The distinction between helping and enabling is subtle yet significant. True kindness, from a Stoic perspective, is that which inspires strength and independence in others. It's a form of support that encourages the development of one's abilities to face life's challenges, rather than offering a perpetual safety net that might hinder personal growth. This approach to kindness requires wisdom and discernment, as it involves understanding when to offer support and when to encourage others to stand on their own. The ultimate aim is to foster an environment where individuals are empowered to navigate their paths, bolstered by temporary support that guides rather than governs their journey. For the Stoic, the practice of such mindful kindness also serves as a reflection on their own independence and resilience. By consciously avoiding the creation of dependency in others, one also guards against becoming overly reliant on the role of caregiver or savior. This reciprocal aspect of Stoic kindness ensures that the act of helping remains a pathway to mutual growth, rather than a one-sided relationship that diminishes the autonomy of either party. The Stoic endeavor, therefore, is not just about offering support, but about nurturing a shared strength that respects the dignity and capacity of all individuals involved. In embodying this principle, we find the essence of Stoic kindness, a force that empowers, uplifts, and ultimately liberates. It is a reminder that the most profound acts of assistance are those that inspire others to reclaim their strength and sovereignty. By navigating the delicate balance between support and dependency, we adhere to a Stoic vision of aid, one that cherishes resilience and celebrates the capacity of individuals to rise above their circumstances. In doing so, we honor the true spirit of kindness, fostering a world where support is a bridge to independence, illuminating the path to self-sufficiency rather than casting the shadow of dependency. 5. The distortion of reality. In our noble intent to shield loved ones from life's harsh realities, we might inadvertently weave a veil of kindness that obscures the essential truth. Adversity is not just an obstacle, but a forge for resilience and growth. The Stoic wisdom, as echoed by the philosopher Chrysippus, reminds us that genuine strength blossoms not in the absence of challenge, but through direct engagement with life's trials. This perspective urges us to ponder, are we truly aiding those we care for by cushioning every blow, or are we hindering their opportunity to cultivate inner fortitude? Consider life as a journey through tumultuous seas. Constantly steadying the boat for others denies them the chance to learn navigation through life's stormy waters on their own. While Stoicism doesn't advocate for a lack of empathy or support, it champions the idea that true assistance enables growth and learning, rather than shielding from reality. This approach encourages not just survival, but thriving through adversity. So how do we strike a balance between offering support and enabling self-reliance? It starts with sharing our own stories of resilience, not as tales of triumph, but as beacons of hope and learning. By illustrating how we've navigated our challenges, we light the path for others, showing that it's possible to emerge from adversity stronger and wiser. This approach fosters a community of empowerment rather than dependency, where each individual is encouraged to face life's challenges with courage and the knowledge that they're supported. It's about lifting the veil of kindness just enough to let the stark yet empowering light of truth shine through. In doing so, we contribute to a society that values resilience, growth, and the profound strength found in facing reality head-on. Let's commit to being facilitators of growth, guiding those we care about towards their own journey of self-discovery and resilience. 6. The seduction of ego. Kindness, in its most noble form, serves as a beacon of humanity's capacity for good. Yet, within this virtue lies a perilous trap, the seduction of the ego, where acts of kindness become tools for the inflation of one's moral self-image rather than expressions of genuine virtue. Zeno of Citium, the founding father of Stoicism, posited that virtue stands as the sole true good. This ancient wisdom urges us to examine our motivations, encouraging acts of kindness that spring not from an aspiration for moral superiority, but from a deep-seated commitment to doing what is inherently right. The allure of recognition can easily distort the purity of our intentions. When we perform acts of kindness with an eye toward the reflection of our goodness in the eyes of others, we stray from the path of true virtue. The Stoic ideal teaches us that the value of right action does not diminish in the absence of applause. Indeed, virtue's worth is intrinsic, requiring no external validation. The Stoic, therefore, acts with kindness not to be seen as virtuous, but because virtue demands it. This perspective compels us to introspect and ask ourselves why we do what we do. Is it the echo of accolades we seek, or the silent fulfillment that comes from knowing we've acted in alignment with our principles? The Stoic's path is one of integrity and humility, where actions are guided by the compass of virtue alone. In this light, every act of kindness becomes a step towards personal and moral growth, untainted by the desire for recognition. In embodying this principle, we forge a path of genuine altruism, where our kindness becomes a reflection of our commitment to virtue above all. It's a journey of constant learning and practice, challenging us to shed the layers of ego and embrace the essence of true kindness. By doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but also contribute to the fabric of a society grounded in authentic virtue and selfless action. Let us then be motivated not by the seduction of ego, but by the profound and rewarding pursuit of virtue for its own sake. 7. The neglect of self-care. In the words of Musonius Rufus, to neglect one's own well-being for the sake of others is to plant the seeds of resentment. In the midst of life's chaos, it's easy to neglect the one constant presence in your life, yourself. Stoicism, often misunderstood as advocating for self-neglect in the pursuit of serving others, actually emphasizes the opposite. It teaches that self-care is the bedrock upon which genuine kindness and altruism must be built. This ancient philosophy understands that to extend your strength and wisdom to others, you must first ensure your own well-being. It's a reminder that in the symphony of life, taking care of oneself is not a solo, but a fundamental note that harmonizes the entire piece. Stoicism draws a vivid analogy between self-care and tending to a garden. Just as a garden requires fertile soil, adequate water, and care to flourish and support life, our beings require self-nurturance to thrive and be of genuine service to others. This philosophy underscores that self-care is not an act of selfish indulgence, but a necessity. It's about ensuring that your mental, physical, and emotional states are in optimal condition so you can effectively contribute to the world around you. But what does Stoic self-care entail? It's a holistic approach that includes nurturing your mind with knowledge and gratitude, maintaining your physical well-being through exercise, and cultivating your spiritual health through practices like meditation. It's about recognizing and respecting your limits by setting healthy boundaries, and understanding that saying no can be an act of self-respect. This comprehensive care ensures that you're equipped to face life's challenges and extend your best self to others. The message here is clear. To illuminate the world with your kindness, the light must first shine from within. Stoicism invites you to reflect on your self-care practices, urging you to ask whether you are indeed nurturing your own garden. It's a call to action to prioritize your well-being, recognizing that a well-cared-for self is not just beneficial, but essential for living a fulfilling, altruistic, and impactful life. In navigating the vast tapestry of existence, let's commit to not just surviving, but thriving by making self-care a priority. The journey towards making a difference in the world begins with a step towards nurturing ourselves. Stoicism, with its wisdom, serves as a timeless guide, reminding us that the strongest foundation for extending kindness to others is cultivating a compassionate relationship with oneself. 8. The misguided sacrifice. Lastly, Epictetus reminds us, not all that we offer up in the name of kindness is a sacrifice worthy of the gods. In the dance of life, where every step counts and every move resonates with the rhythm of our deepest values, the concept of sacrifice takes on a profound significance. But what happens when this sacrifice, cloaked in the noble guise of kindness, veers off the path of wisdom? When our generosity, instead of nurturing growth, scatters our energies to the winds of futile endeavors. This is the tale of the misguided sacrifice, a journey that beckons us to tread with caution and discernment. Have you ever found yourself pouring your heart and soul into a cause, only to realize that your efforts might not be planting the seeds of progress you hoped for? This realization can be a bitter pill to swallow. It's a reminder that not all acts of kindness are created equal, nor do they all lead us toward the fulfillment of our higher purposes. The ancient Stoics, with their keen insight into the human spirit, understood this well. They taught us that true kindness isn't a blind gesture cast into the void, but a deliberate action infused with wisdom and guided by the cardinal virtues of justice, courage, and moderation. Imagine standing at the crossroads of decision-making. Each path represents a choice, a potential act of kindness. How do we choose wisely? The Stoic approach isn't about dimming the light of generosity, but about illuminating our decisions with the lantern of discernment. It's about asking ourselves, does this action contribute to the greater good? Is it aligned with the virtues that define who I am and aspire to be? Consider the virtue of wisdom. It's the compass that guides us through the maze of life, enabling us to distinguish between what is truly beneficial and what is a mere illusion of goodness. Wisdom whispers in our ear, urging us to look beyond the surface, to evaluate the impact of our actions, not just on the immediate horizon, but on the broader tapestry of life. Justice, another Stoic pillar, calls us to consider the fairness of our actions. It challenges us to think about the balance of give and take, to ensure that our kindness does not inadvertently foster dependence or inequality. It's a reminder that true kindness uplifts and empowers. It does not bind or diminish. Courage, the fiery heart of the Stoic virtues, emboldens us to act with integrity, even when the path of true kindness demands difficult choices. It's the strength to say no when saying yes would be easier but misguided. It's the bravery to stand firm in our values, even when the winds of societal pressure or personal gain urge us to sway. Lastly, moderation tempers our desire to give with the wisdom to know when and how. It's the art of balance, ensuring that our acts of kindness do not deplete us, but enrich both the giver and the receiver. Moderation reminds us that sometimes the most profound act of kindness is to empower others to help themselves. In weaving these virtues into the fabric of our daily lives, we transform our acts of kindness from mere gestures into beacons of true benevolence. We learn to give not just from the heart, but from the soul, guided by a wisdom that transcends the fleeting satisfaction of indiscriminate generosity. So let us embark on this journey of enlightened kindness, with eyes wide open, hearts full of courage, and minds sharpened by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. For in the careful weighing of our sacrifices, in the discernment of our generosity, we find not just the path to true kindness, but to a life of deep fulfillment and purpose. Now I turn to you, dear listener. Have you ever experienced the sting of a misguided sacrifice? How did it shape your understanding of true kindness? And more importantly, how will you weave the virtues of wisdom, justice, courage and moderation into your tapestry of generosity from this day forward? Let us embark on this journey together, nurturing a community of thoughtful, empowered individuals committed to acts of kindness that truly make a difference. Through the Stoic lens, we come to understand that the most profound kindness is that which is grounded in virtue, directed by reason, and bestowed with discernment. It is this path, the Stoic path, that we are invited to tread, a journey not of outward acclaim, but of inward triumph, where the true measure of our kindness is reflected not in the mirror of the world, but in the tranquil depths of our own souls. Friends, join us on our journey of self-discovery and growth through Stoicism. Let us know in the comments how Stoicism has been helping in your life. Subscribe now to learn how to find serenity and inner strength amidst life's challenges.